Hey man, he brought me Blau. Come back at you with another edition of this Boomer's Logic, man. I wanted to take some time out this morning, man, to talk to y'all about the new thing that's going on the heels of this election and the emotional reaction from these feminists, these black and white women alike. But before we get into this, man, if you haven't already, go to the channel Boomer Logic, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Let's get these numbers up if you like the content. So anyway, for the last few days, I've just been watching. I didn't, make a video about it initially because I wanted to see just exactly how much information I could get and how many videos I could see. Tickety-tock videos about these women having these emotional meltdowns on the heels of not getting what they wanted, which was getting a woman in power so they can empower them even more, so they could become even more brazen and disrespectful, so they can continue to cross over different lines with, just repeatedly and just, sinking to a whole nother level of depravity. So I've been watching a lot of these videos, man, and first I'm gonna deal with the white women. I'm gonna deal with general and women in general, then I'm gonna split the white from the blacks. And you've been having these epic meltdowns. And once again, going back to what I've said before, why I said what I said about Kamala Harris and any other woman who wants to be put in these positions of authority. These women are exemplifying what I've said on so many different occasions, on so many different videos, that women have emotional reactions. They do not have intellectual reactions. They do not sit down and reason. It's about how they feel and what they want. And if they don't get what they want, they fly into a frenzy. Hence what you're seeing on social media all the way around. All you see is these women that are outraged, balled up in beds, crying, shouting, screaming. You had one white woman, man, that was balled up in the bed, covered up, snot bubbles coming out of her nose, and she crying, real genuine crying, talking about, I don't know how I'm gonna go to work today. I don't know how. And you know what I want to say to her? Get your behind up out the bed, put one foot in front of the other, get dressed, brush your teeth, and go to work. It's that simple. But see, it's this emotionalism, not getting what you want, and you're responding to these men who are defying your leadership and saying, hell no, I'm gonna do the hell I want. I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be the trendsetter. You follow behind me. It's gotten so bad that these white women are making tickety-tocks where they are actually saying that they are literally divorcing their husbands. They are divorcing their husbands because they didn't vote for Kamala. They are in a relationship with family members. This is what they're talking about on tickety-tock now. That's all they're talking about. That they are separating from family members. They are breaking up their families because a person did not do what they wanted them to do, or a person did not follow this trend of getting a woman in. They are so offended and butthurt that they're ending families and they're ending relationships, friendships, everything. It is ridiculous. And that's why I talk about women and emotions. I keep hearing all that, oh man, strong women. No, women are emotional creatures, man. They are emotional creatures, and I hear it all the time. Oh, I got a black daughter and a black wife. You can't talk about that. They are emotional creatures, whether you would like to acknowledge that or not. They act out on emotion. This is what you're seeing. You're seeing a bunch of petulant children acting out in regard to something that they want and they didn't get it. It's like a kid who doesn't want their vegetables, and you concede and start to get a boy cookies in replacement of his vegetables instead of giving him vegetables like he should have. You can't make and choose and make decisions for children anymore because now you got to let them choose for themselves. It's funny how you let children choose for themselves, but the men's supposed to do exactly what you tell them. So backwards. Y'all society is so backwards. But I've said this before, that every woman needs a man over them. Because this is a direct result of not having a man over them, dominating them. Now to black women. Y'all sunk to a level so low. Y'all have become so disrespectful. I thought that y'all couldn't get to this particular type of level where you know, promoted, we hate black men, we don't want black men, this and this about black men, blase, blah, all this stuff about black men. Now you making these tickety talks where y'all coming out and y'all are talking. This is what y'all said on these TikToks, man. Y'all said that you hope black men get what they want, what they voted for. You hope they get shot down in the streets. This is what y'all said verbatim, man. You hope that they get shot down in the streets. You hope that they go to prison. This is what you're wishing on black men. It is insane because you didn't get your way. Now you're wishing death upon your counterparts. It is disgusting. It's deplorable. This is what that black feminist movement is created. It is a deplorable thing, man, that y'all sit on these videos, man, and y'all wish death upon the protectors of your and providers of your community. It's insane. I can't even wrap my mind around what y'all are doing now. It was bad before, but it's really outlandishly bad. I heard this one girl on the Tickety Talk. She says, black girl, she called for a 4-year boycott on sex. This is what this black girl say. I can't, man, listen. I sat there and listened to this. I said, I just put my head in my hands. I said, man, she called for a 4-year boycott on sex. I said, hold up. Is this another black feminist who wants autonomy over her body and has the right to do whatever she wants to do with her body? You know, high body counts and don't shame me. I can have sex with whoever I want to have sex when I want because I can do the slut walk and I can do this and I can do that and you can't judge me. These are the same people that can't keep a man from between their legs for 30 minutes. This is what you come up with. This is your reaction to not getting what you want. That you actually are going to become chaste and keep your legs closed for 4 years. Come on, man. You can't keep your legs closed for 45 minutes. Now you want to boycott penis. It is ridiculous, man. It's sunk to a whole nother level of lunacy, man. And it's all because of what I said before. Women are not emotionally fit to hold these positions, and they continue to prove it. Because they didn't get what they wanted. First thing they do is get on these tickety talks, scream, cry, bitch, moan, and complain, wish hate, death. Oh, this one girl said that for women who didn't vote for her, Kamala Harris, that they hope that you end up bleeding out in a parking lot. This is what she said. She said, and for all you women who did not vote for Kamala Harris, I hope you get exactly what you voted for and you bleed out in a parking lot. So this is what you want in the White House. You want these type of emotional creatures to run your country. Are you serious, man? Are you serious? When I was watching these things, I said, and I told my wife, because my wife was blown away. And my wife even said, why would you ever want a woman, because this is how we react things, why would you ever want us in control? And I'm telling you, man, they continue to prove what I continue to say. Now, to Chicago, and I'm going to use them as just an example of overall black women and black men who came together as a unified group and weren't swayed by the celebrities, weren't swayed by the feministic movement who tried to shame you or threaten you to vote for Kamala Harris. You stood up and you voted the way that you wanted to, and you weren't persuaded contrary. But I'm going to use Chicago because of the Flip It Red movement and everything that they have done in their city to change things on the blue collar level. Bus drivers, kitchen workers, teachers, these blue collar workers, steel mills, warehouse workers. They were the ones who were being affected by this, right? So they came together as a collective, and first they made it known to the mayor. Remember, I told you about this. As a collective unit, they went, not a bunch of women. They went with the men, and they went in there. They let the men speak, and then the women spoke. And they told that mayor, we want you out of here. We don't want you. We want Trump, because Trump's going to change what's going on, and he's going to get you the hell out. This is what they said verbatim. This is not hyperbole. I'm not making something up. All you got to do is go watch the town hall. When he's seen them unified, it didn't even take him a week to come back and flip. Now all of a sudden, they were forced to be a sanctuary city, and he backpedaled on everything. And now it's going to be hard on immigrants to come here now. We're not going to allow them to keep sending buses here. But this is what you selected to do. And it was one woman in there that told him, we told you we didn't want that. We told you we didn't, overwhelmingly, the majority told you we didn't want a sanctuary city, but you did it anyway. You didn't listen to us, so now we want you out. So now all of a sudden, he sees the unity. And this is what strikes fear in the hearts of politicians. This is why they take other nationalities so serious. This is why they do things for other nationalities, because of that unity. So guess what? When you in Chicago showed this unified front and y'all went to that man, it struck fear in him. Now, if y'all just went, as, just different, at different times. No, y'all went as unified front with y'all shirts on and everything, flip red. And y'all gave him the riot act. And it scared his behind so bad that following, wasn't even a week later. And I seen it on the news broadcast. And even the newscaster had to laugh about it. He said, oh, a difference a week makes. That this man came straight out and changed his whole political agenda. He changed his whole platform up. Because that unity is what does it. That unity is what does it. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because now y'all have a foothold. Y'all understand your value. Because when you unify and you move as a collective, you get things done. Now you need to get a leader over you. And I've said that before. This is your next step. You need to get a leader over you. You need to get one voice. Don't get a preacher, a bishop, pastor, anybody that's out of the church to represent you. Don't get another woman, too easily swayed. Don't get a politician, because they're only looking for the opportunity to line their pockets off your suffering and your poverty. Don't get a snake oil salesman, a Jesse Jackson, an Al Sharpton. All they're going to do is suck your community dry. They're going to jet off to some estate up in the hills. Get you somebody that's like you, that looks like you, and knows your struggle. Works in a warehouse, is a police officer or something like that. Because that needs to be your representative. Remember what the churches used to be. It was a place that a representative of the community used to come and listen to what the community was telling him. Hey, look, this is what we need for you to do. And he acted out on what the community's best interest was. He didn't come to the community and tell the community what he was going to do. He sat and listened to the community and executed the things that the community wanted executed. He didn't come and preach to the community. He came and listened to the community, and then he went and executed. It's a reason, just follow my logic here. And this is what you need as a leader over y'all right now, because y'all got a foothold. You're showing your strength. You're showing your resilience. And that's what's important. That strikes fear into those politicians. That strikes fear into the elite. That strikes fear into, what do they call it? The racist movement, or whatever they call it. Black racism agenda, whatever they call it. it strikes fear into them because they don't want to see you united. Because when you're united and you move as one, it's just, look at Martin Luther King and that movement. The people were unified. Martin was there. So every time they came out and marched and rallied, they sick the dogs on them, they water hose them, they try to break them up. They tried to conquer them with fear, but they couldn't break them up. This is why they made so many strides, because there was that unity. And they couldn't keep them contained. It's easy to keep you contained when you're divided, right? When you've been divided and conquered, it's easy to keep you contained. But now you're showing this unification. This is what's scaring them. So now you got your leader in place. The next thing you need to do is do introspection inside your community. Because you've already identified everything that was outward that was keeping you down. The mayor, the liberal agenda, the Democrats. You got a Republican that has your best interest, the nation's best interest at heart. Now you can reap those benefits. You got that mayor out of there. Now it's up to you to do internal introspection. Now you got to get into your community and start to expel the cancers out of your community. Because now you don't have anybody else to blame. You've got everything in place that you want in place, right? So now you have to do the work that it takes. And it might not come to fruition in your generation, and you just got to make peace with that. But you need to start exercising these cancers out of your community now so your grandchildren can benefit. You've laid the foundation for them, because this is what other communities and peoples do. So, with that being said, what's the first cancer you need to remove? You need to remove this cancer of black feminism. This is a cancer that continues to cause divisiveness, that's nasty, is ugly, and these women continue to run around unchecked, bringing all this chaos in your community. They're breeding these children to be chaotic, to be black feminists, soft. They're chaotic and confused because they don't understand why they're feeling the way they're feeling when their mother is telling them contrary. No, don't feel like this, feel like this. You're not supposed to take a man and try to make him fit a female mold. A male has to be raised by a male so he can identify and understand why he has these things going in internally. Only a man can explain. So you have to remove this black female agenda in order to start bringing some normalcy and more unity in your communities. You got to expel that, man. Look at how they sat and talked about you black men after you didn't do what they wanted you to do. They tore you asunder. And remember, there's a difference. I'm not saying the black women that are there supporting you and coming to your aid and helping you collectively and was wearing the flip it red shirts and was right there with you in the trenches getting things done. No, I'm not talking about them. Them is the ones you want with you, educating those young black women in those communities, right? These is the big mamas and stuff that you need back in place. You need to get these feminists, these black women who want to be independent, and you can't tell me what to do, and you need to get them a hell away from you. You need accountability. If you're going to stay amongst us, you're going to be accountable. We're going to hold you accountable in regard to your conduct, in regard to your children's conduct. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be consequences to your action. There's going to be consequences to your children's action. All that running amok, I can do what I want to do. All this mentality that's been implanted, indoctrinated in them that they running with, you have to get it out of there. It's a cancer they're showing you. The first thing they did when they didn't get their way, now they're lashing out on these black men and black women alike. Once again, that lady said, if you didn't vote for Condoleezza Harris, and she's talking to you black women in Chicago, she's talking to you, that she hopes you bleed out in a parking lot somewhere because you didn't respect their reproductive rights. We hope that you have some type of, this is what the woman literally said. We hope that you have some type of complication with your pregnancy and you bleed out in the parking lot. This is what she said because this is what their agenda, what they were talking about in regard to bleeding down the parking lot because there was a situation with a woman. I'm not sure of how it went, but she needed some medical attention. But it wasn't on it's a long sort of story, but she didn't get the medical attention she needed, and she ended up bleeding out because of some complications with her pregnancy. And they use that as their template to say, this is why we need reproductive rights, blah, blah, blah. Now, you want it just because you don't want any responsibility of your actions. You want to be able to flat back it. And if you end up pregnant, you can destroy it because you want to have a hot girl summer. Y'all probably use different language now, but probably a different title, but that's what I remember it as. Y'all wanted hot girl summers. You didn't want any responsibilities. So you don't want to miss the summertime, so I got to have an abortion so I don't have any responsibility. I can go on a cruise or whatever the case may be. And this is why you wanted those reproductive rights. You didn't want it to safeguard and protect anybody. You just want it in place so you can willy-nilly go and kill kids. That's all you want. That's it. But I'm going to digress on that, and I'm not going to lose the point. This is what she said to you black women who stood on what you believe in, who backed these black men. And she said she wished that you blade out in a parking lot. And this is why I said this agenda is so dangerous and needs to be removed from amongst you because it's a cancer. It's a cancer. It's a disrespectful cancer who has no respect of person. If you don't think like them, if you don't acquiesce, if you don't do what they tell you to do, and then you don't dance to the beating of their drum, you ain't nothing. They're gonna disrespect you. They're gonna call you names. They're gonna wish you death. They're gonna wish you prison. They're gonna wish you all kind of stuff, man. And they just did it, and they continue to do it. I really support and I really advocate, and I'm really proud of you blacks who came together, not just in Chicago, but I point out Chicago because they were so, out front with it. I'm proud of y'all. The movement y'all created, the things that y'all did, what y'all stood for, I'm very proud of. Now you have to remove this cancer. It's permeating, it's there, and it continues to grow in your community. And as long as it continues to be allowed to have a foothold, you still gonna have major issues. Because even when you get a leader, guess what? Them black feminists are gonna come in and say, oh, he gonna do what we want, we gonna get him canceled. This is what's gonna happen. You got to get this cancer away from you, man. It's bad. And it's getting worse. It's growing expeditiously, and it's getting worse. But I just want to take this minute, man, and just, speak to y'all, talk to y'all about what I've been seeing, how proud I am of what y'all did, and respond and react to this stuff that they're putting out on social media and how these women are emotional, and they continue to prove what I've said before, that they don't need to be in positions of power. They need to be in somebody's kitchen, making some eggs, barefoot and pregnant. I can't reiterate it enough, and they keep proving my point. Every time they do something like this, I'm gonna look at them and say, why you ain't barefoot and pregnant making some eggs somewhere? Because you're a buffoon. You run around here unchecked, and when you do this, you run around and you run them up. This is what women gonna do. They're petulant children. You gotta check them. You gotta put them in their place. And this one needs to be done here. You women and men down there who've come together, you gotta get this away from them immediately, or it's gonna continue to lead your communities into this abyss. And this is what it is. It ain't y'all, it's them. Anyway, man, I digress. Got to make my wife some eggs. I'm going to get barefoot and pregnant today, make my wife some eggs, bacon, little croissants or whatever she was requesting. But I just want to make this video before I jumped in action in my household and just tell y'all I love y'all. I'm honored, to even be able to make this video about y'all. But to those heifers who are doing what they're doing, they're proving my point again and again and again. Check it. All right, love y'all. See you on the next one.